Maine versus Trump, legal battle over transgender rights and Title IX impact. The clash between Maine and the Trump administration over the rights of transgender student athletes is heating up, and the stakes couldn't be higher. As this legal battle unfolds in the courts, experts warn that its ramifications could ripple far beyond the Pine Tree State. What began as a heated exchange between Governor Janet Mills and President Trump back in February has escalated into a complex web of investigations, threats to yank millions in federal funding, and now 2 lawsuits. Maine has taken a stand by suing the U.S. Department of Agriculture, while the Trump administration has countered with its own lawsuit against the Maine Department of Education. At the heart of this conflict is a fundamental question. Does Maine's policy allowing transgender students to compete on teams that align with their gender identity violate Title IX? The federal law designed to prevent sex-based discrimination in education? The Trump administration argues that Maine's approach discriminates against women by allowing transgender athletes to compete in girls' sports. In contrast, Maine insists it is upholding both federal law and its own human rights code, which explicitly prohibits discrimination based on gender identity. Legal experts are finding it challenging to predict the outcome of these cases, not only due to the intricate legal questions involved, but also because the Trump administration's enforcement of Title IX has been anything but typical. This dispute isn't just about sports. It's a larger conversation about states' rights and the extent of presidential power through executive orders. We have 2 laws in conflict with each other. Which one prevails? Asks Kim Pacelli, an education attorney. The unusual speed and lack of procedure in the Trump administration's Title IX investigations in Maine have raised eyebrows among legal experts. Typically, Title IX investigations are thorough and can take months or even years, often resulting in voluntary agreements that lead to policy changes in schools. However, the Trump administration's investigation into Maine was opened and closed in mere days, without any interviews with state officials. Maine's Attorney General, Aaron Frey, has argued that the federal agency failed to follow the necessary steps before attempting to withdraw funding. A federal judge recently sided with Maine, preventing the USDA from interfering with funding without adhering to proper procedures. In most cases, Title IX investigations are resolved through discussions and agreements, but Maine's situation has been marked by what many see as politically motivated actions. Governor Mills has voiced her concerns, stating that this battle is not merely about sports, but about the fundamental rights of states to govern themselves without federal overreach. This is about whether a president can impose his will without regard for the rule of law that governs our nation, she declared. As the legal proceedings continue, the outcome could set a precedent for Title IX cases and transgender student policies across the country. The Trump administration and its supporters maintain that their stance is backed by law and public opinion, with a significant portion of Americans favoring policies that require transgender athletes to compete based on their sex assigned at birth. However, this perspective dismisses the scientific understanding of gender identity as a spectrum, a view supported by the American Medical Association. The legal landscape surrounding transgender rights has been tumultuous, with various courts grappling with these issues, but arriving at inconsistent rulings. The Supreme Court's decision in Bostock v. Clayton County established that discrimination based on sexual orientation or gender identity is a form of sex-based discrimination. Yet the Trump administration's interpretation of Title IX has not aligned with this understanding. As communities in Maine react to this ongoing debate, some are rallying in support of transgender students, while others are adopting policies that align with the Trump administration's views. Recently, a school district in Aroostook County implemented a policy that appears to restrict transgender students' access to facilities that match their gender identity, raising concerns about potential legal repercussions. As this legal battle unfolds, the implications for transgender rights and Title IX could be profound, potentially reaching the Supreme Court. The question at stake is not just about sports. It's about the very fabric of American identity and the rights of individuals within it. The outcome of this case could redefine the landscape of transgender rights in education for years to come.